Dude, I gotta
You got
tell you.
motherfucker?
All right, well
Yeah, all
on.
right, let's
All
go.
right, hey, what's
Uh,
up? What's up, everybody? This is Owen Finch here, and I am here with, and of course he takes.
James the He-Man Hebert. I got my fuel.
Um, and we're here to
Got my
talk
fuel.
about.
Uh-oh, I'm promoting WWE sponsors. Dude, this is probably the best sponsor that WWE has ever gotten because it's just so good.
I don't like soda, so
But
I can't. I don't like soda, so I
I
can't
know you
judge.
don't. You
But
think I know you think this is poison. Just a minute.
yeah, I do. Um, but
I also
yeah,
got a tiny bottle too.
that's gonna be
But yeah,
the only WWE
you know
talk
what
you're
we're
gonna hear
talking
about.
about today?
It's finally time we talk about it. The big moment when we're gonna finally talk about Destination America canceling TNA.
I
Yeah.
mean, here, I'll put it this way, and I know people are gonna be like, "You're a hypocrite," but I'm just gonna say it. I was hoping for the safety of everybody's job that it wouldn't go under.
Yeah.
Um, Now I'm kind of glad it's going under because that won't be the case for everybody there because they'll go straight to GFW. That's already been confirmed, so I'm glad about that. But at the
Like
same time, I mean,
I didn't get to hear about that.
just
Who's going to?
so much potential and so much history just down the fucking shitter, and it's depressing.
I have a question though. Who's going to GFW? Just like
Like almost like 95% of the TNA roster is probably going to go, and I think they're going to acquire the name Impact Wrestling also. But
oh, that's nice for them, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah. Well, for Jeff Jarrett, he'll finally have control of Impact. So
Oh yeah. All
I
right.
mean,
So let's
I mean, you know that if he does get like almost all of the TNA roster, he's going to have like two separate shows, right?
yeah, probably because he can't
I mean,
obviously have one show.
the roster he has already is already stacked. I mean, he
Yeah.
already have Luke Cox, fucking Christopher Daniels, uh, freaking PJ Black. He's already got like so many people from the indie circuit, and
Yeah.
he that are big names, and he has them all in GFW. So I
This
mean,
is
he's
why I
already
gotta
got a
start.
stacked enough roster.
This is why I gotta start watching my indie wrestling. I'm trying.
Oh, I mean, GFW hasn't even started yet.
I know, but I gotta watch
So
like Ring of Honor. I gotta watch like Ring of Honor and all that stuff. I'm trying.
well, yeah, PJ Black though. PJ Black is Justin Gabriel.
Oh, okay. Then I know who he is. Um, is it connected? Am I gonna be able to find it or like on my
I'll
TV
send
network?
you a link to what the roster is going to be.
Okay.
Johnny, my friend Johnny sent it to me, but basically that's what the roster is currently, and combined with like half of what they have for TNA. I mean, and if they
Oh
acquire
yeah.
AJ Styles, I mean it's basically going to be TNA the way it's looking. It's going to be TNA on steroids, but under a different name.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that's nice.
I mean, but again, I mean, the actual name itself. I mean, I'm hoping that Jeff Jarrett acquires also all the TNA footage and acquires the YouTube channel because I really don't want to see all that history go away
Yeah,
because
me
there's
either.
a lot of good shit. I will say that TNA, and I will say that I've been a big supporter of TNA when it first started out because I believed in where it was going. Uh, um, I started watching in 2005, like roughly, like shortly before, like a year before Kurt Angle and Christian Cage debuted there, and I mean, it was amazing. It was such an original product. Everything that they had going for them was good. I mean, they had so much star power, a stacked roster. They had simple storylines, a simple location,
So it's pretty much how
amazing
NXT.
matches week after week, and I mean, it was just entertaining television every time, even
So it's pretty
before they
much.
turn into
So pretty much how NXT is now.
basically. I mean, a lot of people make comparisons of what is it of old TNA, NXT as old TNA when TNA first started out.
Yeah.
That's where the comparison draws in. I mean, had NXT nowadays and old TNA feuded, I mean, that would have been a brand dream war. I mean, when it comes to the stacked rosters that they have.
They probably
When
wouldn't be in
you're
it.
talking about the two time periods.
They might not be in NXT though, like that, because they probably wouldn't have gotten like Samoa Joe. They would have gotten. I have a feeling some of the wrestlers that are there now.
Minus Samoa Joe though. I mean, they didn't really get AJ Styles. I mean, they think about who they've really gotten in NXT. They've gotten all the Ring of Honor stars. They've gotten Sami Zayn. They've gotten Andrew Neville. They've gotten Tyler Breeze. They've gotten Finn Balor. They've gotten Hideo Itami. Like they got all the Ring of Honor New Japan stars and a couple guys from the England promotions. They never really got guys from TNA until Samoa Joe. So, you know.
No, I'm saying though, like
with
these guys go to NXT though, if TNA was the way it was, you know.
If TNA was the way it was back then, and then they had a feud with the NXT brand now.
That'd be amazing.
It is a huge. There's a huge competition just alone if that would happen. But
now let's read the article.
We gotta know that it's not the way it used to be, and that leads us to this sad and depressing video.
And the article we're about to read. So I'm gonna read the article. Why don't you?
Might as well start now since I got that point out there. You know?
All right. So the article is called "Destination America reportedly cancels all TNA wrestling programming." So here's what it says. Before it was announced last Friday. How come I can hear myself? I hear myself echoing.
I'm sorry. Fucking. Right. Do you not hear yourself?
Okay. Wait, what?
Can you not hear myself? Can you not hear yourself now?
Yeah, I can't hear. I don't know why that was happening, but
Yeah, I turned it up, seeing if I can hear you better. But just go.
All right. So I'll talk louder. Before it was announced last Friday that Impact Wrestling would be moving to Wednesday nights beginning on June 3rd, 2015, Destination America officials made the decision to cancel the show and all other programming from the Nashville, Tennessee-based company. This is according to Dave Meltzer in this week's issue of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, which was published Wednesday night. It was noted to Meltzer that all TNA programming will cease to air on Destination America at the end of the third quarter of the year. This is roughly the last week of September when the current television season ends. Key people at the parent company Discovery Communications were informed of the decision. And then it says two major reasons were given for the cancellation of TNA shows. While Destination America officials considering the rating for Impact Wrestling to be good, the numbers were not good enough to justify the cost of the programming. The other problem was that a number of the cable networks advertisers specifically did not want to advertise during Impact Wrestling. The decision from Destination America was meant to be kept secret.
Before you continue, I want to make this whole comparison right now with the whole thing. When it comes to the sponsorships, and if people call me crazy, you can, but I don't think I am. This is exactly how Nitro was going under. Nobody wanted to advertise during Nitro. Nobody wanted to. This is the exact same comparison with when it comes to Impact on Destination. It's the same thing. And
I can't judge because I didn't watch then, but
I know you didn't. But I don't blame the advertisers for not wanting to advertise their shit during Impact. Have you seen the show?
Yeah, I have. I mean, we talked about.
Exactly. It's awful now. It's so bad. I've never seen a more watered down wrestling product in my life. and that's saying something. I mean, we're comparing that as competition to mainstream WWE nowadays. That's fucking sad.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I don't blame the advertisers for not wanting to advertise their stuff on.
I got a question for you. What was worse, WCW Monday Night Nitro, its final days, or TNA right now? I'm just gonna ask you.
I got it.
That's a tough one.
I'll tell you this much. I mean, at least by Nitro's ending days, they still had a lot of star power and a lot of young talent that were amazing and well known. TNA doesn't have that.
Yeah, because
They
I remember.
really don't. I mean,
I'll go
dude,
back to
at least they had Steiner. Like by the end, they had Steiner, Booker
Sting.
T, Sting, Flair, Gregory Helms. They had a lot of good talent there still. You know, they couldn't keep the show going because of the advertising. The advertising companies didn't want anything to do with it, and plus AOL, Time Warner merging and all that, because they didn't want their wrestling product on their channels anymore.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, and that is on Bischoff, because had he actually continued to produce new content and not stick with the same old faction known as the NWO, you know, or making different versions of the NWO,
Yeah.
none of this shit would have happened with Nitro. You know,
Yeah.
it'd probably still be on the air today. It just wouldn't be as popular, just like WWE is. So I mean, had Bischoff done that, I don't think AOL would have even considered removing Nitro, because if it makes money, you're going to keep the product on. It's just as simple as that. So, I mean, with Impact, the difference between Nitro and Impact is that they didn't have the star power. Nitro had the star power. TNA lost all of its star power. They thought that they could do fine with a quote unquote new direction, when obviously they couldn't.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I really don't mind a lot of the guys that are on there. I'm not gonna lie. I like Rockstar Spud. I like EC3. I like MVP. I have no problem with any of those guys. It's just the booking is atrocious, and the fact that they don't have any of the TNA originals anymore doesn't help either.
The only one they have that's an original is Bobby Roode, Eric Young, Abyss, James Storm, and I think that might be it.
Yeah, it is.
And Mike Tenay, but I guess if you want to count him.
Mike Tenay, I mean, is going to be on his way out soon too. I mean, I don't think he's. I mean, he's either going to be on his way out or he's going to ride the ship till it dies. Which, knowing how loyal Tenay is, he probably will. But
yeah. All right. So, can I continue?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean,
all right.
I said my point.
The decision. All right. So I think I think I'm on the decision from Destination America was meant to be kept secret, quite like how Spike executives kept secret publicly last year the decision to drop Impact Wrestling from months after the decision was made and reported. A public acknowledgement is expected to be made when the station reveals its 2015-16 television season primetime lineup. Following the March 13th, 2015 episode of Impact Wrestling, which saw viewership sink to a new low, Destination America officials made the decision to cancel Saturday morning programming under the belief that eliminating the replay would help the Friday numbers, the only numbers they care about. Although there was a slight increase, all first run programming with the exception of Impact Wrestling airing multiple times on Friday nights was axed due to the cable network's difficulty in selling advertisement time. For the May 8th, 2015 live episode of Impact Wrestling, I didn't know it was live, Destination America purchased an advertisement in the USA Today newspaper to promote the show, believing that additional advertisement and it being almost live would lead to an increased rating. Instead, Impact Wrestling did its second lowest number on Destination America, and the replay, which is primarily watched by viewers in the West Coast,
now hold on.
Before
you continue, I don't know exactly what the rating was, but I'm gonna put it in the perspective of like an estimate. But from what I heard, their first lowest rating, not their second, the one that I was talking about, the first one, okay, was 1,000. 100,000. 100,000 100,000 viewers. Okay, 100,000.
That's not good.
Their second one, I believe, their second lowest was 250,000.
Wow. That's insane. That's not good.
TNA, when it was on Spike TV, even at its lowest points, was still drawing near millions.
Yeah.
You know, it was still drawing near the million mark. Since they have moved to Destination America, their primary ratings have been like an estimate of 100,000 and 500,000. That is a drastic drop, guys. Okay, and that is and the time they got the lowest rating was when they returned on the new network on Destination America.
Yeah, I tuned in. I actually did watch it.
I watched
that episode.
It was the lowest rated show.
That's insane. I remember that episode.
It was over at that point. Had TNA, it wouldn't have changed the fact that it'd still be the lowest rated show, but had TNA actually have gotten compelling storylines that would have made the product different with the roster that they had, which they easily could have done. Okay? Here's what ruined the first episode, okay? They had James Storm and Abyss win the tag team titles from the Wolves.
That didn't happen on that. That didn't happen on that.
That
episode.
did happen. That was the episode. That was the first episode.
They retained because they were still on Spike TV when they won the tag team titles.
No. This was on Destination America I'm talking about.
Yeah, they won him on Spike TV.
The first episode of Destination America, Abyss and Storm won the tag titles. Again.
Oh yeah.
Again, why? Why not Storm? Why not Manic and Sonata?
Yeah, I agree. I think they should have been a tag team.
Again, all right. That would have saved a lot of momentum for TNA. Okay, that would have saved some glimmer of hope. Then, had they not created the stupid fucking Beatdown Clan. Okay? Had they not created that group, had they not put Joe in there, had they not put Low Key in there, which would have made no sense, and had they not have Eric Young turn on Bobby Roode for no goddamn...
What happened? Okay, so James, what happened to James? He's gone. I get what he's saying. The BDC thing, I'm gonna tell him I don't know what the hell happened. He just like randomly left. I guess he is so pissed off he left. But the whole thing with the BDC, I don't really. Okay, he's back.
Yeah, sorry. Of course, I'm getting a fucking call. Where was I on my point? Because I haven't.
You were talking about the BDC.
Okay, yeah. Had they not created the damn Beatdown Clan, had they not put Joe in there, Eric Young, Turner on Bobby Roode, they never did any of that shit.
Yeah.
They would have been fine. They would have been fine. I don't understand why they had to add Joe and Low Key into MVP's clique.
And I think Samoa Joe made no sense because they always hated each other.
Neither Low Key or Joe made no sense because those were the two biggest fucking stars in TNA at the time.
I know.
That made no sense. No sense whatsoever. These guys were feuding on Spike before they fucking turned.
Actually, I didn't know that because I wasn't watching. Oh yeah,
I watched the episode. Okay.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because they were. Yeah, I remember.
Here's another thing. Here's another thing that killed their momentum. Ready? And I can't believe I'm saying this, but Austin Aries winning the X Division title.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that because he's not a good champion. I'm saying that because when he won it, he didn't give a shit. He didn't care. That's a trick to him. At one point in time, he was the biggest star on TNA. Now he's degraded back to the X Division title, the thing that he promoted to be the stepping stone to the main event. Now he's back there.
I mean, it was after too.
And let's talk about him taking it from Low Ki. Low Ki is, and still is, one of the best promo cutters in TNA.
Oh yeah.
He is.
I mean,
he is a phenomenal athlete. He knows how to get the crowd going, and he knows how to work a good match with anybody, with almost anybody. And you have him lose the title to Austin Aries, who already won that belt like how many times?
I mean, he didn't even have it that long either. He only had it about like only like a month. But I remember too, like when he won it, the week after, they were just showing replays and stuff. So he really didn't have it as long as like they say he did.
Exactly.
And then he just won it back a week later, anyways, too. So.
Exactly. When he joined the BDC. It made no sense. The Beatdown Clan was already better with only the 3 members that they had, okay?
Yeah, and then Lashley.
They had MVP, Lashley, and Kenny King. Had they promoted Kenny King as the guy to take on Low Ki and win the X Division title from Low Ki, that would have made a better statement on their product. But they chose Austin Aries, a bona fide main eventer, clearly, and demoted him back to mid-card, which made no sense. And then another thing that completely destroyed TNA's momentum was the pointless brawl.
Yeah.
What the fuck was the point of the brawl? Why did everybody need to fight all over the place?
I guess they wanted to make it feel like it was special and like it was a big moment that they were coming to. I don't know. I'm trying to find.
Okay.
Is that you?
No, that's you. But fuck it, leave it. My issue is we had to basically. They basically all of that killed our momentum.
Yep.
Because their viewership was at 258. Their viewership was at 250. Like right when they started. Right when they started, it was at 250. The pointless brawl happened. It went down. Then the X Division thing happened. It went down. And then the BDC thing happened. It went way down.
It's just sad.
You know, everybody said it too. It was the same old TNA as soon as that happened. They went back to a fucking faction.
Yeah.
They didn't need a faction. That was the thing that killed them. And for people that want to say that wrestling storylines don't matter for ratings, I beg to fucking differ because TNA is clear fucking proof of this.
Oh yeah, I didn't even like. That's why I don't watch now because I don't like the storylines.
The storylines are awful.
Yeah.
It's flat out atrocious. If they had good storylines when they started out on Destination America, they would have been saved. Fucking Destination would have kept them.
Yeah.
Advertisers, some of them that they were trying to get on there, probably would have advertised for TNA. But the bottom line is TNA fucked up again, and now they're not. Bottom line.
Yeah. All right. So
any TNA fanboy can criticize us and bash us to the day we fucking die, but I can guarantee you this: if you're gonna fucking defend TNA for that, you are not a reasonable wrestling fan.
No.
I don't care.
All right. So there's more.
You need to be realistic. I don't care. Continue.
All right. So I think I'm on days later. Destination America executives made the decision to cancel all TNA wrestling. I think that's what I'm at. And then it says Meltzer added that Dixie Carter, president of TNA Wrestling, was made aware of Destination America's decision early last week, although it doesn't appear that most of the talent knew anything since word of this had not gotten around. Her knowledge of the cancellations may have played a part in Impact Wrestling moving to Wednesday nights, but that is uncertain. Carter didn't respond to any questions on the subject from Meltzer.
That was another thing that they fucked up on. Why did you move to Friday?
Yeah, I know, right? Because nobody.
SmackDown moved out of that slot because they were getting a bad viewership. Now you want to go to the same slot that they had to struggle with?
Oh
Does
yeah,
that make any sense? People do shit on Friday nights.
yeah. That's why I never watch SmackDown. I have to go up. I have to watch it later.
You know, now a lot of people can watch SmackDown because it's on Thursday. It's not on Friday anymore.
Yeah, and it's been better since actually it's on Thursday too. SmackDown, I feel.
Exactly. And people have given a shit. You know?
And now they're gonna go on Wednesday. I don't know when it's going on Wednesday. I think it's at 9 o'clock. I don't think I'd be watching.
Yeah, it is. It's at 9 o'clock. It's right after NXT. Which, by the way, if TNA fucking realized that, hey, NXT is on there an hour before us. And if people want to watch more wrestling after, now they got a whole new show to watch. Oh my God, it's magic. It's magic, isn't it? Oh my God. You know, I don't even know why they moved out of that slot. They had a perfect slot for Destination. Then they decided, oh yeah, hey guys, let's do what WWE did and move to Fridays because WWE stopped that. But we think it's a good idea because fuck it.
Yeah. All right. So then.
What's the next article? Are we on the next article?
No, it's a little bit more. One more paragraph. Meltzer noted in this report that Destination America's decision has not been finalized, which are employees at the station, however, not been told anything new since a memo was issued to them informing them of the cancellation. Meltzer noted that the story is very much ongoing. And that's about it.
Yep.
So yeah, I have a feeling it is going to be gone.
It's pretty obvious that it's going to be gone at this point. So I mean they've lasted with the amount of how much they fucked up over the years.
Uh-huh.
I mean they have lasted a substantial amount of time.
Yeah, they lasted what since 2002 it came.
Yeah, 2002. I mean, no. When I'm talking about since they screwed up.
Oh.
You know, I'm gonna say it. They should have been dead 5 years ago.
Yeah.
When they had that pay-per-view incident with Hardy.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, there were still a group of fans that were like, you know what? They still have an amazing roster. They got rid of Jeff Hardy after they got the belt off him. Let's still give this a chance. And for those diehards to stay there for that long, and then you release the talent that was keeping you alive for that long,
like Bad Influence, AJ Styles. I think they released Jay Lethal.
Yep.
They released
Arrow.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, dude. I mean, dude, I looked forward to Impact when Bound for Glory season happened because the Bound for Glory series
that's when it was good.
With talent. It was stacked with talent. Now, granted, the Bound for Glory series in 2012, the one I'm talking about, was run to absolute god-earthly shit, but still, you know, it was the talent was still there. In that Bound for Glory series tournament, you had your champion in Austin Aries. You had Jeff Hardy. You had AJ Styles. You had Bully Ray. You had Samoa Joe. You had D'Angelo. You had Bully Ray.
Yep.
You know, Sting was in there. I mean, there was a lot of big name talent, and they had a new guy in Magnus too. You know, there was a lot of talent in there. You know, they still had that talent pool. They lost a lot of their guys. Don't get me wrong. But they still had the talent pool that mattered, that could carry the company, that would matter in the long haul. And then they got rid of them.
Oh, yeah.
So, hence, we didn't get a Bound for Glory series.
Yeah.
For 2 reasons, but one of the reasons is because it didn't matter. They didn't have a good enough talent pool to have a Bound for Glory series.
I know.
They had a dwindled roster.
That kind of sucks. I liked the Bound for Glory series too. It was a way to.
It was a great tournament idea. It was a great. I will say this because it was Bischoff's idea. That's why I'm saying if Bischoff was just in production, the TNA would thrive on his production ideas.
Oh yeah.
They would thrive on his production ideas, but he was controlling everything. So was Hogan, and it fucked him up.
Yeah.
I mean, and same with Bruce Pritchard because Bruce Pritchard, hello, how you doing? I see you there.
What's up, man?
How you doing? I'm Owen's friend.
He can't. I don't think he can hear you.
I know, but still. But anyway, it's like.
Keep going. Continue.
I mean, for me, it's sad because I'm like looking at a company that used to thrive off of original. I mean, the Battle for Glory series was original. TNA Gut Check was original.
Yeah.
But the problem is, it was getting screwed up.
Yeah.
Badly, booking, everything, and talent exchange. I mean, again.
Something I don't understand
Gut
is why.
Check was dead. Gut Check was dead. Like as soon as they decided, hey, we got to go on the road because they're forcing us to go on the road. Because had they signed Brian Cage and Adam Pearce, they'd be golden. You want new talent.
Yeah.
TNA wanted new talent to push to the forefront.
They never even signed anyone really, and when they did sign someone, we never see him on TV at all.
The only one we saw was Samuel Shaw.
And we saw what's his name, the Christian York. We saw him, and then they released him for no reason. Well, there was a reason because they were doing the cuts, but
no. I want to talk about him too because the three guys that they should have never let go and that they should have picked were Christian York, Adam Pearce, and Brian Cage.
I like Joey Ryan too.
They were awesome. They were fucking amazing. Okay. These guys knew how to work in the ring. They knew how to cut a promo. They knew how to get the crowd going.
Actually, after you made that video when you talked about that, I went back and watched that match that Adam Pearce was in, and his video package is amazing. Actually, I don't know if you remember what the video.
Thank you. Exactly. That's my point. Adam Pearce, Scrap Iron. I mean, that guy was awesome. That guy had the total package. He had the nickname. He had the wrestling ability. He had the technical ring premise. He had the mat work, everything. He was your typical generic base built wrestler. He was Scrap Iron. That's what he is. That was perfect. They should have went with him. He was awesome, and they chose the shitty luchador over him.
Actually, they chose they chose him, and then when the luchador cut a promo, they just didn't even pick him. So I don't know. They didn't even pick it because he didn't get signed. But I don't remember you had to cut a promo in the win, and he sucked, so they didn't pick him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. They didn't pick him either. They didn't pick either one.
But they picked.
Didn't make any sense to me. If you needed to pick one guy, pick Adam Pearce.
Yeah, and I mean I think Adam Pearce should have been the one to cut the promo because he would have nailed the promo.
And then who else was there?
Brian Cage and Jay Bradley. They had their little thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Jay Bradley wasn't.
And I'm not gonna diss on Jay Bradley. He could have been an awesome talent too. If you needed a good check talent to fight the Lucha Dragon, I would have picked Jay Bradley over the Lucha dude. Wouldn't have had any problem picking him.
Actually,
but
I remember
comparing him to Brian Cage and having them fight against Brian Cage. There was nowhere near that Jay Bradley was ready compared to Brian Cage. Brian Cage had everything going for him.
Who won that match, anyways, between Jay Bradley and Brian Cage? I think Jay Bradley won.
Yeah, he did, and I think that's why they chose him.
Just because you won? That's because you won?
Probably. I don't know. Bruce Pritchard's an idiot. But.
And then I remember they put Jay Bradley in the Bound for Glory series, and it felt like he was just if someone wasn't getting enough points, they felt like that anytime he was in a match, they were just going to use him for a superstar.
Yeah, as a stepping stone. Yeah, I forgot he was in the BFG series. And don't even remind me of that. That was bad.
All right, let's read the let's read Dixie Carter and Corgan's response now.
All right.
So this is it says TNA shooter. It's called well it's called other things. But one of the main things it's called is Dixie and Corgan respond to impact rumors, and then it says TNA shoot on Dave Meltzer. As previously reported, the Wrestling Observer has claimed that Destination America are considering canceling TNA Impact in the fall because they don't make the network a lot of ad revenue, despite doing better than many other shows on the network. TNA has released an official statement which basically denies this. Statement from TNA regarding Impact Wrestling.
Can you hold on a second?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. What did you? We went to Domino's.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's continue. Sorry.
Okay, so this is what the statement is. Statement from TNA regarding Impact Wrestling. It has come to our attention that several internet news sources have falsely attributed statements to TNA, its executives and broadcasting partner. These false statements constitute defamation, and if necessary, we will seek all legal remedies available to us. That's what it says right there.
Eric Bischoff also sues Impact Wrestling, but I don't want to get into that yet.
We're going to get into that soon, yeah.
Okay. Here's my thing with this, okay, with Dixie and Corgan denying. Corgan's being a loyal guy. No disrespect to him. I think Corgan's an awesome human being. I think, he's a great representative for TNA as talked about, storyline-wise.
Yeah.
I have noticed since I watched some Impact clips and the storylines have gotten better. I'm not going to lie. But, to deny that is just basically being exactly the way it was when Spike TV said that they were canceling them.
Keeping your eye on the fire?
Yeah.
It was the same. It was the same thing. I mean, when Spike was rumored that they were going to cancel Impact, it was the same thing. Dixie denied it.
Yeah.
And then when it happened, there was no denying it. So what is going to make any difference with the rumor now? I'm being realistic with that. I'm sorry. I think that the rumors are true at this point.
Yeah.
Now, my praying to God is that it isn't, because I want them to succeed, but at this point, I also want them to get bought out by GFW.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even good right now, man. I mean, the talent that you could bring over from basically, all right. Remember this? You remember this?
Yeah, you still have that. Yeah.
I still have it. Now, if they had this, God, man, their roster would be stacked. You combine this with GFW's roster, because GFW also works with Ring of Honor and New Japan and all that. If they were to acquire some talent from there, it'd be competing. It'd be competing with WWE.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's why I'm hoping GFW buys out TNA, because if they do that, that will be good. That would be good for them, because they already got the Ring of Honor guys that have left TNA. I've gotten the New Japan guys that have left TNA that are associated with him, with Jarrett, in storyline and outside of wrestling. So that's why I'm saying. I mean, because they're getting Alberto Patron in GFW. They're getting a couple other guys into GFW. I mean, with all the other shows indie-wise that are going on, if they were to go over to GFW, okay, when it comes to, like, if they got AJ Styles and Alberto Patron and all these guys, they'd be competing with WWE to the point where WWE would also have to step their game up, and WWE would have to put on their guys that are in NXT immediately and shut down NXT for a while.
Oh, yeah.
They would have to bring up Joe. They would have to bring up Owens. They'd have to bring up Zayn. They'd have to bring them all up right away and put them in the forefront.
whether they're ready or not.
Exactly. And they'd have to also split up the New Day. They'd have
Oh yeah,
to.
thank God.
No, I'm serious. I'm not trying to even like laugh about it. They'd have to split up the New Day.
Yeah, I know, but
They'd have to split. They'd have to make Kofi Kingston one of the lead guys in there because he's an amazing mid-card wrestler. So is Xavier Woods.
and you would have to push Cesaro more. I feel like
Exactly. You'd have to push Cesaro more, and Cesaro and Kid especially if you're gonna have them as a tag team.
Yeah.
You know, you would have to push the Ascension. You would have to push.
You'd have to get rid of the Ascension.
You have to push. They'd have to bring up Blake and Murphy too. They'd have to push them into the forefront. I mean, they would have to bring up all their guys that are into developmental up there.
Oh yeah.
And WWE would actually have to try and not produce horrific storylines, because if GFW were to succeed getting the talent from TNA, New Japan, and Ring of Honor, WWE would be getting its ass kicked in the main shows. Be getting its ass kicked. So.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah. All right, but that wasn't Billy Corgan.
It's competition. Competition creates cash. If the Monday Night Wars don't prove that, then I don't know what will.
And then it says there's more to the article. It says TNA's new creative chef Billy Corgan targeted the Observer's Dave Meltzer directly on Twitter. This is what he said on Twitter. His Twitter name is William Corgan @Billy, and it says @Danielle. It wouldn't be so bad if the whole truth was being reported and the person reported wasn't being worked himself by a sloppy angle. And then he says, and let's remember that I speak from experience. Haven't had things written about me by Meltzer that he never got a statement from me about. And then
I believe Billy Corgan better than I believe Dixie Carter.
Yeah, me too.
So maybe there's hope for TNA. Who knows?
Then it says on the article, there are also rumors that Dixie Carter may have annoyed Destination America's officials by accidentally copying them into an email where she refers to them as dummies, but this has not been confirmed. That's what it says.
Oh, Dixie, you are just digging yourself into a further grave, aren't you?
She called the
Dixie, listen to me. Whether you're defending or you're not defending, do me a favor. Delete your Twitter. Stop talking. Just shut up. You're not helping. You're not helping. You are making things worse. Okay.
She insulted the people. She insulted the people that are running her product. That's smart. Yeah, good job, buddy. Good job.
Just shut up. Anything you say, people are gonna take the wrong way. So just shut the fuck up. Have somebody else run the company. Have Billy Corgan run it. Fuck.
Yeah.
Have him run it at this point. Don't say anything. You don't make decisions. Let Billy Corgan do his thing. Let him do his thing. There we go. Then you don't have to do things. Okay? The more we don't have to hear from Dixie Carter, the better. Because anything we've seemed to hear from Dixie, whether it's rumors, Twitter tweet things, it seems like it's just bad. Okay? It's literally she's the black thumb of wrestling. Anything she says is going to turn to shit. Just stop talking. Stop tweeting. Stop managing. Just stop doing things for a little bit. Take a vacation. Go to Honolulu for 3 years. And then come back when TNA is back on its feet and can actually survive if there's even a chance. And then we can hear from you again. But right now we don't want to hear from you.
All right. So you want to? Yeah. Do you want to talk about Eric Bischoff suing TNA?
Oh, you mean Jackass? Yeah, sure.
All right. It's the article is called Eric Bischoff, Garrett Bischoff, and Jason Harvey suing TNA for unpaid money.
Is Jason Harvey Wes Briscoe or something?
I think. I don't know.
By the way, why isn't Wes Briscoe? Is Wes Briscoe, Jack Briscoe, and Jay Briscoe all related?
I have no idea.
Because if they are, they should West should be like a manager for the Briscoes. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, give them something to do. I haven't seen him in forever.
All right, but
But
yeah,
he sucks at wrestling, I can tell you that. Maybe you could train with them in the wrestling, but he could be a manager until then.
but yeah, they're all suing TNA for unpaid money, and here's what it says: Eric Bischoff, his son Garrett Bischoff, and Jason Harvey have filed a breach of contract lawsuit against TNA for unpaid amount of. Here's how much the money is. 114,500,000. No wait, I screwed up. I screwed up. It's actually 114,502 cents.
Oh, I was like, dude, if that was a million, then Bischoff's a dickhead. But no,
But
all
yeah,
right,
it's thousand.
that's
And
reasonable.
according
that's
to
reasonable then. All right, so yeah, I don't blame Bischoff for that.
according to ProWrestling.net, the lawsuit has filed in Davidson. No wait, the lawsuit is filed in Davidson Country, Tennessee, on May 15th of this year. I gotta get better at reading, dude.
That's fine.
Here's what it says.
I mean,
What's up?
no, just continue. Never mind.
Harvey and Eric are listed on the lawsuit under the company name of Bischoff Harvey Entertainment. They were hired as executive producers for TNA at a base fee of $426,800 per year, paid in monthly installments.
That was for the production value, right?
Yeah, that's what it's executive producers. Yep.
Yeah, then I don't blame them then because I mean, I will say that Bischoff sucks at writing a storyline when it comes to a faction, but
Yeah.
I mean, he does do a great job at production. So does Jason Harvey. So
Yeah.
I don't blame them for wanting their fucking due.
And then it says that the suit says they were hired on a pay or play basis and owed $101,500 by TNA for unpaid money from January 2015 through March 2015. They are also asking for the cost of entering this action, including reasonable attorney fee. And then it says Garrett was originally part of BHE's first deal with TNA, but signed a separate talent agreement on October 24th, 2012. His deal expired on March 31st of this year and included monthly pay of $2,000, 166.67 on a pay-or-play basis, as an additional $500 for paid performances. Garrett claims TNA owes him $13,000.02 in unpaid compensation for October 2015 through March 2015.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Garrett Bischoff not mentally ready at one point to be a pro wrestler?
Yeah, I think it was in 2012.
Yeah, okay. So I don't blame Bischoff or either Bischoff to sue for that. I mean, especially Garrett, because if Garrett wasn't supposed to be a wrestler and he did it anyway for the good of the company, quote unquote, then yeah, he should be getting paid as much as he was supposed to get paid.
Yeah.
Okay? I have no problem with that. I have no problem with him wanting his amount due. You don't not pay your employees. And TNA has done that time and time again.
They did that with Taz.
With the TNA originals, with the guys they have now. I mean, look at Look at Taz. Taz was polite about it, and he didn't sue for it. He didn't really give a shit. He had a lot of money stored up anyway, but Garrett Bischoff was in a different situation. And I have no problem. I mean, Eric Bischoff, I'm on the fence with, because Eric shouldn't have ran the storylines. He should have only ran production.
Yeah.
Jason Harvey was only production, so I don't have a problem with him. He should be demanding the money. And when it comes to Garrett Bischoff, if the guy was a wrestler and he wasn't supposed to be because he didn't want to be, he wasn't mentally ready, then yeah, he did it. and he should have gotten fucking paid.
Oh yeah.
Should have gotten paid. You need to pay the people that actually do it, even when it's not in their best interest to do so.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Especially when it's not in their best interest to do so. You know, and if you don't pay them, expect to get sued.
I
Bottom
agree.
line. You know, you're
All
lucky
right.
Taz didn't.
And then there's
Taz could have sued for you guys not paying him.
yeah.
He wasn't getting his checks. It was clearly obvious.
I mean, you got it. I mean,
said
that's
it
why
in his podcast.
I should start watching this podcast. But by the way, I mean that's why isn't that why people work nowadays to get paid? So I mean
Exactly. I mean, again,
So-
I don't think Taz is not against TNA in any way, and he did wish him the best, which is good. He's a humble guy that does that, and I commend him for that. But I also would commend him if he stand up for himself. So either way, I would have commended him because you know you work for what you're worth. That's it. You know, if you don't get paid what you're worth, get the fuck out. And
I agree.
if you want to, and if you feel like you're justified to, sue their ass.
All
That's
right.
bottom line.
And then there's more.
Same thing with Bad Influence. Bad Influence almost sued them too.
Yeah.
Same reason. And AJ Styles didn't sue them, but he was pissed that he wasn't getting paid. So I mean, you could totally tell the frustration with everybody that has ever worked for that company.
All right, and there's more.
Especially Don West. Don West used to promote their shit all the time, and they did the same thing with him. They lowballed him.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, there's more. The lawsuits note that TNA paid in a timely manner through 2014. BHE lawyers notified TNA on November 4th, 2014 about a contract breach over October pay and advertised TNA that they had 20 days to fix the situation. Another notice was issued 20 days later informing TNA they failed to cure the breach. TNA eventually paid $101,500 on or before January 1st, 2015, but BHE is seeking that same amount of unpaid money for the final 3 months of their deal with TNA that expired on March 31st of this year. And then it says TNA lawyer Guy Blake wrote a letter to BHE on.
Give me a second.
All right.
Oh my God.
Should I continue?
Me. Can't.
All right, I'm gonna continue. TNA lawyer Guy Blake wrote a letter to BHE on January 12th of this year, but his letter was not included in the suit. BHE lawyer Brian Lewis responded to the letter and said he did not agree with Blake's statement that TNA paid BHE in full and that BHE refused to appear as requested by TNA. Lewis wrote, "When the money was sent, you did not make it clear whether it was in connection with the settlement offer that was on the table or a resentment by TNA. TNA did not make a request that BHE perform services with the money when the money was sent." He went on to write that BHE stands ready, willing, and able to perform under the agreement in the event TNA is reinstated that agreement. And that's it.
I don't blame the Bischoffs. I really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I blame Eric a little bit because he shouldn't have took control of everything along with Hogan. But I mean, I don't blame Bischoff for wanting to sue them for the production deals. I mean, that is an obvious. I think it, and from what it's telling me, it is only for production deals. And for Garrett Bischoff's case, it's for wrestling when he wasn't supposed to, and he did it for the good of the company, and they still didn't pay him his full wage that he was supposed to get due. So, I mean, I have no problem with that. I think that they should get their money that they should get owed, and they better do it soon because TNA doesn't need to lose any more money.
Oh yeah, if TNA loses
More
more money, oof. All right, so now that we did that, me and James talked before we got on here, and we want to talk about the good moments of TNA, the good things that have happened within TNA. Now, James, obviously you're gonna have more than me because I started watching, and I didn't start watching fully until like 2012. So yeah, so you're gonna have a little bit more.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have a little bit more insight. Which
So
is
you want
fine
to
because it will give you a good insight to watch these matches because I think they're amazing.
So you want me to
First,
start, or do you want me to start, or you want you to start?
yeah, you know what? Why don't you start? Do you have a good memory of TNA, like match-wise, storyline-wise, anything?
I'm trying to remember what match this was. I liked this match, but I didn't know the story in the match. I just liked the in-ring components of the match. It was It was a Russian chain match, and it was trying to remember who was in it. Let me look it up because I'm right here. Hold on one second.
What? I think I know what you're talking about here.
I'm trying, but I'm gonna start with this. I'm gonna talk about the story, an angle. At the beginning, now this is at the beginning, I actually liked the Aces and Eights angle. Even though it was goofy at times, I liked how it was being run.
I think I can agree with that.
I think I started hating it probably, it was around, I think what made me hate the Aces and Eights angle, I mean, I know we're not supposed to talk
When
to
there
it.
was a bunch of jobbers there, I know.
And,
Well, let's
I
not
mean,
talk about that. What was a good angle that you liked? What was the angle that you liked?
let me think. Another angle I really liked. Even though you don't like this guy, I actually thought the Gunner and James Storm angle was pretty good, and I liked the I Quit match that they had at Sacrifice.
I will say that no, I have no problem with the program they had. I like the program. I just don't like Gunner as a wrestler. I commend him for serving his country, and I think he had a great program with Storm, but
yeah,
I just saw him as a good wrestler.
I liked that. I also liked Samoa Joe and Magnus as a tag team, and I liked even though
you know what? For makeshift tag teams, I never thought that Joe and Magnus would match, but they did so goddamn well.
Then when they
it's really honestly it was really a shame that they didn't get more tag titles under their belts.
Oh yeah,
because they were awesome. They broke them up. They broke them up in the middle of a tag team run in another promotion. I remember that. They broke them up in the middle of another promotion when they were tag teaming. And I liked becoming a very good makeshift tag team, and they fucking ended it. Like, it was working.
Yeah, but I
loved that tag team. That was really good tag team work.
And then I liked the feud they had afterwards, though, when they were feuding over the television championship.
I don't deny that. Yeah, that was pretty.
And then I liked the World Championship feud they had, like when Samoa Joe came #1 contender, and they had that whole match at Lockdown. I didn't mind.
That was pretty good.
But I found the Russian chain match though. It was Justin Credible versus Jerry Lynn. That's a match I really liked.
Did you really? Wow, I'm surprised. I like that match actually too.
I mean, I don't know what the storyline in the match was, but I liked the match. So I was watching it too in my intro to writing class, and I marked out over something, and she's like, "Oh, and what are you watching?" And I'm like, "It's wrestling."
Yeah. Oh, and what are you watching? It's wrestling. That's blunt.
I said it exactly like that too.
Oh man. Yeah, I like that match. Believe it or not, that's actually a very underrated match. That was in 2010, right?
No, it wasn't because
2012 then.
No, it wasn't even It wasn't because Taz wasn't uncommon. Let me look it up.
Oh, Taz. Oh, then it must have been way back in the day.
Yeah, it was.
Never mind that.
Because it was old TNA.
Yeah, it was old. Yeah, I know what you're talking about then. Yeah, I really liked that. As far as my favorite moments, I'm gonna say a really good match that I loved and I personally enjoyed. Triple X versus AMW in the 6 Sides of Steel.
I can't.
That is
I'll
a
have to look
match.
that up.
That is a match you have to see. It is unreal. Those teams. This was, by the way, this is Cowboy James Storm and Wildcat Chris Harris as AMW, and Elix Skipper with Christopher Daniels. This was fucking amazing. There's one spot in the match that everybody remembers. I love this spot. Eli Skipper is known for doing the catwalk around on the rope, like an old school type of catwalk, and then does a Hurricane Rana from the ropes. He does it from the top of the freaking cage.
Oh my gosh.
It is amazing, dude. Like, it is one of the best TNA. It is one of the best TNA moments that has happened in that company. The whole match, though, as a whole, the components was such awesome storytelling. It was the losing team had to break up. That was the whole storyline. Triple H lost, but I mean they went out with a blaze of fucking glory.
Oh wow, that's actually pretty good. Did they actually stick through that? Like did they ever team up again?
They were feuding throughout an entire year. They feuded when they were in the asylum in Tennessee, all the way into the Impact Zone. That's how long they were feuding. They were feuding for a year and a half. I think it was 17 months or something like that. They were always the 2 top teams to go for the NWA tag titles. This was when they were still aligned with the NWA. And they were like the 2 top teams all the time. So one of them had to go. That was the whole stipulation. So it was Triple X that went, AMW stayed. And I mean, the match was awesome. You have to watch the match. It was the best climax to any feud I've ever seen. It was so good. Like,
another good moment, I guess.
Yeah, it's your turn. Go.
Maybe Beer Money breaking up when they had the whole TNA World Heavyweight Championship match and James Storm was the champion.
I agree with you with that. That was an amazing program with those two.
And I love the feud too, even though I wasn't.
Anytime James Storm and Bobby Roode ever had a match, they beat the piss out of each other. I mean, they beat the piss out of each other. It was so good.
I know.
Dude, the brutal feud that they had, man. And then when they rekindled it that one time for the Bound for Glory series, and they just brutalized each other. I mean, any match they have is awesome. And
I liked, and I loved, even though I like this pay-per-view, everybody probably trashes it, but this was my first TNA pay-per-view. Wasn't my first, well, actually, technically full, because, actually, it wasn't my first one, but it was like my first Bound for Glory. It was Bound for Glory from 2012. I actually liked that.
Oh, no, dude. They wouldn't trash that. That was actually a very great show. Yeah, it was a little sloppy, the booking of it, but it was still great.
I mean, the only match I really didn't like was, that wasn't Matt Morgan. It was Joey Ryan versus Al Snow. Joey
Ryan sucks anyway.
So I don't even think I watched the match. I didn't watch the match. I was looking up other things on my computer because I was watching it on my laptop. And when I heard Matt Morgan came out, I was like, what?
Yeah, it was Matt Morgan.
That was the only thing I didn't. That was the only thing I didn't like, though.
Matt Morgan was awesome, and they also dropped the ball with him, but we don't talk about that.
We got to talk about good things.
No, those are a couple great moments. I'm gonna say 2 moments of mine now. I'm gonna say a moment on a pay-per-view that I enjoyed TNA wise. My favorite, another one of my favorite moments from TNA, or I guess programs, would have to be Kurt Angle and Samoa Joe. The trilogy, man. The trilogy all the way up until the end was just awesome. And then my favorite pay-per-view that TNA ever had, I have to go with I gotta go with either Destination X of 2007, or I have to go with Bound for Glory of 2009. Those are like my 2 favorite pay-per-views that I've ever watched in TNA.
Wow!
Just because of they had because I think I'd have to go with Bound for Glory 2009 because there was a lot of great dream matches on there. They had AJ Styles and Sting main eventing the pay-per-view with AJ going over. They had the Dudleys win the IWGP tag titles, which was actually very rare because that was when they aligned themselves with New Japan Pro Wrestling. And they had the British Invasion win the TNA World Tag titles against the Dudleys. But the Dudleys actually won the other tag titles, which were currently held by the British Invasion. So Dudleys beat them for that, but the British Invasion beat them for the TNA tag titles.
Okay, yeah.
So that was actually pretty awesome. They had Abyss and Mick Foley.
Actually, I actually just watched like the highlights of the show on
You
YouTube.
have to watch that match though. Like it was just about as good as Randy Orton and Cactus Jack.
I actually heard
Backlash.
that Abyss couldn't use like his thumbtacks or Janice or something like that in the match or something. That was like a rule.
Yes, he didn't, but it was still a great match. You didn't need Janice for that.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like I was just trying to. What else was good? What else do I remember seeing in the highlights? They had a television title match. I believe it was Rob Terry versus Hernandez versus Eric Young. Was that the match? I don't remember. I think
so. Yeah, that was actually a very surprisingly very good match too. Yeah.
And then they had Matt Morgan versus Kurt
I don't
Angle.
remember who won that though. I haven't watched the pay-per-view in forever.
Matt Morgan versus Kurt Angle. They had that match.
Oh, that was awesome. Also, yeah, they had Bobby Lashley and Samoa Joe, which was also very, very good. I just wish Samoa Joe went over instead of Lashley, but I think Joe was the heel and he was a part of the main event Mafia at that point.
Yeah.
So.
All right, but now what about Angle? Because I don't know if you said. Oh no, you said the Joe Angle. All right, so now it's my turn. Let me think, because I have to remember the ones I've already. All right, so let me think. I'm just trying to. Let me think. All right, so I said the aces and eights. I said I said the whole aces and eights thing. I said
I think I got one.
Oh, I know.
I know you remember.
I know one. I got one. All right, so it was the Team 3D the night after the Bound for Glory 2010 pay-per-view. I remember watching this on TV.
Yes.
Team 3D, and they were like gonna retire, and the music was playing, and then all of a sudden, Brother Ray, who was known as the time, just ambushes Devon. He just jumps him, like he hugs him, and then he jumps him.
That was another great program. Was Devon and Bully Ray's feud? That was awesome.
And what I really liked about it was the music kept playing while he was attacking him. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, when TNA would play their music. Oh dude. All right, let's talk about the tag team division that they had like over the years before like they just kind of makeshift tag teams. Like some of my favorite tag teams were Beer Money.
Mm-hmm.
LAX was an awesome one. My two favorites, though, of all time, I have to go with Generation Me, a.k.a. the Young Bucks, and Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah.
Because the program they had, have you seen their matches?
Somewhat, yeah. I saw some of them, I think.
You got to see some of them. You got to see all of them. Every match is not a dull moment. They had a match on Reaction. It was an empty arena match on Reaction. This is when... that was Bischoff's creation, Reaction, which was an amazing television program. Their match was in that show was brutal as shit. The winner knocks the team out. It was just basically a street fight.
Oh wow!
You win by knocking the other team out. Motor City came out on top. And I mean, they literally almost had to kill them. It was basically what it looked like.
Oh yeah.
That was a brawl, dude. And their feud was so great. They always were innovative. Any match they were in. The Young Bucks literally debuted in TNA fighting the Motor City Machine Guns. That was a tryout match.
Oh wow.
And they had Generation Me go over.
And another, I guess, one of my favorite moments is the night Austin Aries won the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, because I like that whole
That's
concept.
always a great moment.
When you have the X Division champion, and if you're the X Division champion by the Destination X pay-per-view, you get to it's like cashing in for
when that rule was still in place, yeah.
I mean, it's still in place now. It's just not a pay-per-view anymore.
Yeah,
But yeah, I like
not,
that. I like
it's
that
not as
concept.
meaningful, yeah.
I think it.
By the way, are they really replaying Slammiversary of last year? Are they
No,
really?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Why?
Hold on. No, I said no. I think they had matches on Slammiversary, but they might be doing that now because
they have because they have to redo their time slot. I know that, but like really? Basically, you're telling me I spent money on Slammiversary. I didn't spend money on Slammiversary, but if I did, you're basically telling me instead of spending money on Slammiversary, I could have watched it for free.
Trying to think last year. I actually didn't even watch last. I didn't watch last year's actually because I didn't want to. Was it worth watching last year?
It was all right. Bound for Glory Slammiversary 2013 was way better though.
Oh yeah, I watched that. That's a moment too. Actually, I remember too. The Slammiversary 2013.
Oh, yeah,
I remember that night. Bully Ray.
About the card in that. That was an awesome card.
Let me think. Let me.
Dude, Bully Ray and Sting, man.
I did not think that match was going to be as good as it was.
It was so great. It was great, dude.
Other matches. I liked Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles, and AJ Styles just had that whole gimmick brought up.
Yeah. The
whole,
no one gimmick, yeah. The no one gimmick, yeah.
Yeah.
When he was not aligning himself with either Aces and Eights, Fortune, or Main Event Mafia. I loved
that whole thing, and that's the night he debuted that theme song that he had. Remember that? Like that's the night.
You know what thing TNA kind of dropped the ball with, and you know what team I really loved? I loved Ego. I loved Bobby Roode and that influence. That was such a great trio. Oh man, like they were just you could tell it was just natural. The comedy acts they would do. Just anything that they would do backstage was just amazing. They always made everybody laugh.
The Eagle Hall of Fame, that was awesome.
The Ego Hall of Fame.
I remember too. Bobby Roode was sitting in this chair, right, and his feet couldn't even touch the floor on the chair. You remember that?
I remember that, and he was like fake tears and shit.
And then they even played this video for him about like how great the Eagle Hall of Fame was.
Oh my god.
And then but yeah, the TNA.
Sorry, Mom.
What?
She texted me saying stop yelling.
Oh. But yeah, I loved the call to Slammiversary though. I liked the X Division match with Kenny King, Suicide at the time, and Chris Sabin.
Oh yeah.
I liked. I actually thought that even though it was you knew who was gonna win, I liked the Aces and Eights 6-man tag team match. It was with Doc. No, they replaced Doc. It was Mr. Anderson, Wes Briscoe, and Garrett. I think I don't remember. Versus Jeff Hardy. I mean, actually, now that I talk about it, it was okay. Okay.
Yeah, it was alright. Yeah, it was.
Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, and Magnus, though.
That was like the only match I didn't really care for.
The TNA last knockout standing match between Talon Terrell and Gail Kim.
Yes, that was awesome.
That was. I did not think that. Like, I knew it would be good, but it was awesome though.
I didn't expect it to be that great.
Me either.
That was awesome. Taryn Terrell and Gail Kim. That was like one of the matches that stole the show. Actually,
the diamond cutter she did like off like the ramp.
That was nuts. Talk about using your surroundings, man.
Oh yeah, and then what else was on there? You know, I actually remember that was funny. Hulk Hogan's promo that night, because remember he had like an injured hand, and Hulk Hogan was just talking a bunch of nonsense that night.
Oh God, no.
I laughed. I'll admit, I laughed though. You gotta admit, you probably laughed.
All right, one of the things that I liked in TNA, I really liked what is it called? I loved let me think here. Okay. One match you have to check out from old TNA. Monsters Ball 2. Okay. Jeff Hardy, Abyss, Sabu, and Rhino.
Oh wow.
This match was nuts. You remember the highlights of Jeff Hardy diving off on Abyss through the tables?
I think they showed it
You remember?
actually. I think
Yeah,
they.
that's the match.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's in that match.
Oh wow.
It's such a great match, dude. Like when you're talking about like every match component that you can ever put up with these four extreme dudes, like this was awesome. This was one of the greatest monsters balls of all time. Another great moment that I liked. I mean, a great moment of mine is Christian Cage debuting.
Yeah, I think I heard it.
Because I literally remember when I was a kid watching the Great American Bash 2005, and he was in the fatal four-way for the U.S. title. It was him, Orlando Jordan,
And he wasn't
Booker
Christian.
T,
He wasn't
and
Christian Cage, by the way. He was Christian, just for.
yeah, it was Christian in there. He was Christian, and it was him, freaking Orlando Jordan, Booker T, and Chris Benoit, and it was for the U.S. title. And I mean, this was. I remember watching that as a kid, and then he didn't win, and I really wanted him to win. That was BS that he didn't win. I actually really liked Christian at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't mind Chris Benoit retaining, but I also at the time, but I really wanted Christian to win. And so seeing that, and then seeing like not even like a couple months later him debuting on TNA, and I think it was Slammiversary, was unreal. Actually, no, it was like not even a month later. It was a month later that he debuted in TNA at Slammiversary.
That's insane.
So,
yeah.
It was like, as a wrestling fan, I was jumping for joy.
I remember. I don't know if you remember TNA Slammiversary 2012. Christian Cage, he was the Intercontinental Champion in WWE, just randomly shows up on Slammiversary. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
And then you also remember the next night, he was on WWE wrestling at Magic. Imagine how it was so weird watching him wrestle.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. Like, what just happened in a period of time? Yeah, that was 2011, wasn't it?
No, it was 2012 because he was the IC champion, and I remember
yeah. That was so weird. That was so weird. I didn't know if he was like why he showed up.
Why did he, anyways? Was it just for that?
I'm not sure. All I know is that he showed up.
Why did he leave TNA, anyways? Like, was there a reason he left? Like, I know you don't want. Was it?
He at the time he thought that TNA was going to go under.
Oh, okay. Do you think if he knew TNA wasn't going to go under, he would have stayed?
He thought that. I'm glad he thought that, because if he stayed there, I'm pretty sure he would have gotten released like a lot of the other people did.
Yeah.
It's a good thing he jumped ship where he did. At least he got one world heavyweight title run, you know. I mean, his career highlight, he has always admitted, though, will always be his NWA title run.
Yeah, because at least
that was the most prestigious title he's ever had.
Yeah, because WWE really didn't give him much of a world championship. I mean.
Yeah, and his second best reign for a title was the ECW title.
Which one? Because he had it twice. Was it the first time?
The second one, where he held it for like a large amount of days.
Oh yeah. I actually liked his ECW championship reign. It felt like he was bringing ECW back to the opponent. And then they canceled it, but they didn't really have a choice but to cancel ECW at the time.
And well, I mean, that's what you get when you basically turn a product that isn't yours into some other god-earthly creation and get Tommy Dreamer pissed off to the point where he leaves because he's the last original standing.
That's, I think, that's when it went. I think that's after they canceled it too. It was like right after he left. It was like a month later.
That's why, because the ratings dropped after he left.
Actually, I watched our podcast with Tommy Dreamer with Stone Cold. You may have seen it. Why he left is because they weren't pushing him, and he felt like he should have been pushed because anytime he was in the main event on ECW, the ratings blew. Well, not blew. The ratings grew anytime he was in the main event. And then I think Christian should have been the last ECW champion too, not Ezekiel Jackson. If it was like two, that's like if he had seen ECW continue with Ezekiel Jackson as champion, it would have been bad.
Mm.
Yeah. I didn't even like
Vince
the
Vince wanted to push the steroid freaks at the time. You gotta remember that.
I mean, it was a big moment too. He was black, and Vince doesn't look to post the black wrestlers.
Don't even. I don't even.
Back
You know
to T.
who I thought? You know who I thought was kind of an. Felt like he should have deserved one ECW title reign during that time. Big Daddy V.
Yeah.
God
Dude,
rest his soul.
he would have been a star. Imagine he would have been dominant as the ECW
I
champion.
actually wouldn't have minded him as ECW champion. I mean, he was scary.
Yeah. I remember he.
Would you fuck with him? I wouldn't fuck.
No, I remember he came out when he destroyed the Boogeyman. Destroyed him.
He put him through the chalkboard. I was scared. I was scared shitless. I was like, and I was growing up at the time as a teenage kid, and I was still getting into my awkward years, but I knew at the time, wrestling was fake at that point. But it was like,
and
that
then
scared the living piss out of me. I'm like, this dude just put him through a chalkboard.
And then
what
he
the
wrestled.
hell?
And then he took down Kane. And then he took down And then he lost to the Undertaker. That's Hell's Gate chokehold move now.
Oh no, I mean,
I don't mind that.
yeah.
Actually.
The problem was it was like that didn't necessarily bury him. What ended up happening was I think it was like he was a victim of circumstance because when he did that move, that was an accident, right?
Who, Undertaker?
Yeah, when he did that onto Viscera, it wasn't supposed to happen like that. It was supposed to be the triangle choke that he used to do,
and then
it turned into the Hell's Gate that night because when he was trying to put his leg over his head, it slipped and it went on his jugular, and that's what made him bleed. He was legit bleeding internally.
Oh wow! So
and
then
they
just
tap out.
So they made
it bleeding profusely from the mouth.
How was he
supposed? They didn't know how serious it was until 2 weeks after that happened. And the last appearance I think he ever made was on SmackDown when him and Mark Henry fought the Brothers of Destruction.
I actually liked that match, but I was a kid when I watched it, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was I thinking? Oh, but yeah, so how was the match supposed to end though? Was that supposed to be the finish or no?
It was supposed to be. It was supposed to be the Undertaker going over, and I don't think it would have buried Viscera in the least bit because Undertaker's Undertaker. But
even if Undertaker wins, he always makes you look like.
Yeah, he makes you look like $1 million, but it was just a freak accident basically.
And then, so what happens now? Now they would just have the guy bleed every time he did the move. What was that actually?
Yeah, like right up until they turned full PG mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah, let's get back to TNA. A moment I liked. So let me think. So I talked about the Team 3D breakup. I actually did like Bully Ray winning the title, even though I didn't see it. I thought it was pretty cool, even though it was building up.
He was a great promo cutter as champion.
Yeah.
So
that's why I liked it. I liked it when he would come out and his theme song would be playing and he'd say, "Shut it off," and then they shut it off like he's scared of him or something. That's probably just.
He like literally, like since ECW, he's always been a great promo cutter.
Yeah,
he would start riots anywhere he went.
I like him better. I like him better as a heel than he is a face. Definitely.
He's such a great heel, but he knows how to get the crowd face or heel going.
Yeah.
There's not many people with that talent, like the way he has it. Like he has God's gift of getting the crowd going either way. Yeah. Like he really can go either way. Like he knows how to get the crowd going all the time. Like WWE, he knew how to get the crowd going. Yeah. ECW, he knew how to get the crowd going. TNA, he knew how to get the crowd going. I mean, he knew how to get the crowd going anywhere he went. It didn't matter. It really didn't matter.
Yep. What else do I remember? Let me think. What else?
You would think that with his promo skills and his wrestling ability, that Vince would have made him at least one-time WWE champ. Like that's how good he was. Like there's no exaggeration of that.
They should. I remember too. The Dudley boys split up at one point. They had Devon go as Reverend Devon, and Bubba Ray Dudley. He didn't even push him at all.
Yeah, they had him team up with Spike. It was stupid. I mean, at the time it wasn't working, and Bubba even realized it because he didn't find himself yet. He never thought he would ever get to the world title. Like, he never thought he was even ready. You know, he didn't even think he was ready in TNA. When they presented him with the opportunity, he knew he completed everything with Devon.
What else do I remember though from TNA? That was good.
How many titles did they win? They won the ECW tag. They won the WCW tag titles, ECW tag titles,
WWE, TNA.
They won the WWE World Tag titles that WWE had, the TNA tag titles, the IWGP tag titles.
Yeah, a lot of titles.
They won them on, they all won all those belts on like numerous occasions. Wasn't it like 23?
Yeah,
23 or 24 tag titles.
That's insane.
That they held collectively. If you really think about it, if they really wanted to, they could go to New Japan, they could fight Doc Gallows, and Carl Anderson of the Bullet Club for the IWGP tag titles.
They probably could, yeah.
And then they could have, and then if they really wanted to, they could go to Lucha Underground or AAA. Like, all they have to do is win a Lucha Libre promotion tag titles and the Ring of Honor tag titles, and they will be called the greatest tag team of all time. That's literally all they have to do, and they will surpass Road Warriors.
Oh, wow.
That's insane. That they're 2 tag titles away from becoming the best. You know,
but let's talk.
And they probably can.
Yeah. So yeah, more TNA moments though. Like I did that one, Bully Ray winning the world title. Trying to think. Maybe when Hulk Hogan left TNA, because at least you knew it was gonna get better.
I was like, yay.
I was happy too because they always featured him in promos after promos. I was sick of seeing the guy. To be honest with you, I lost.
Why did they promote him so much when he wasn't even promoting their company on Twitter?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the only one who's seen that, right? Like, I went through his Twitter today, actually. Not one post about TNA when he was in TNA. Not one. Maybe like 1 or 2, actually.
How much time did you? Wait? So you just sat there going through the guy's Twitter?
Yeah, to see if he promoted anything TNA. He didn't. He promoted like 2 things on like.
Yeah.
Like 300 tweets when he was in TNA.
Wow. I didn't even do it once.
2 times out of 300 tweets.
That's insane. I lost it. I still like Hulk Hogan, but I lost some respect. Probably like 50%.
No, I've lost all respect for Hogan. I don't like him anymore. He's really lost my respect after what he did to TNA. I mean, he didn't even promote it once. That was the whole point of him coming in, was he was supposed to promote TNA. And the only way he would do it is if he became booker and writer, and because nothing went his way, because nobody liked his booking, he didn't promote the company.
Yep.
That's basically what it was. It was because fans called him out on his bullshit, so he stopped promoting the company. Literally, that's what it was. You know, but continue. I don't. Let's not get into that mode. All right, I got an idea. I got a moment. I want to say a couple moments now.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think a lot of people are going to be like crazy, think I'm crazy for this, but one of my favorite matches in TNA is Mr. Anderson and Jeff Hardy in that Full Metal Mayhem match for the world title. You have to watch.
Don't you mean the ladder match?
I thought it was a Full Metal Mayhem. Yeah, I think it was just a ladder.
Okay, yeah, I watched that. Yeah.
That was awesome. They kicked the crap out of each other. I mean, it was awesome. I mean, put it this way: considering the status that they were in when they shouldn't have been in the main event that early.
Yeah.
I mean, but when they were, I mean, they were awesome.
And the thing, the thing is too, you didn't know the match could deliver too, because Jeff Hardy wasn't going to do any of his high flying stuff because he wasn't a heel at the time. What didn't he just turn heel too? So
Yeah, he was the Antichrist at the time, and
I like
he
that's
was
another
part of the
moment
Immortal
actually.
faction.
I like too. Jeff Hardy's heel turn was really good.
Yeah, well, his heel run, not his heel turn. The heel turn made no sense. The heel run was amazing.
Yeah.
Right up until he fucked up and did drugs.
That's the one. That's the one part I like you saying in the video. You fucked up and coked out on drugs and lost him a roll up to Stin, and I'm on it in 20 seconds. I love that.
It's true. Another favorite moment of mine, and another favorite moment of mine is when James Storm out of nowhere wins the world title against Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
That crowd went nuts. That was literally that was the biggest pop that TNA ever had in its freaking 15-year history,
Probably
13-year history.
And then I remember
the biggest I think I've ever heard.
And then I remember that moment too. The Fortune cuts in the win and they just celebrate together too. I remember that too.
Yeah, that was an awesome moment. Yeah.
Any more?
That was another thing I really liked too was the Fortune forming. I loved that. I don't know why people didn't like Flair as a manager. I really liked Flair as a manager for that.
Yeah.
Remember when it originally started too? It was Beer Money, Kaz, AJ Styles, and Desmond Wolfe.
I don't remember Desmond Wolfe.
You want to talk about talent, dude? That was talent.
What
was it? I know. I'm like, I don't want to take over, but another moment that I love is the Ric Flair and Jay Lethal promo.
Oh yeah, I actually
that was classic.
I tried to watch that too, but I had to do something. But I'm definitely gonna watch that when I get a chance.
You have to watch that. It is so good. The first thing you want to do, don't watch it with your eyes open. Put your eyes closed. You will lose track of who's speaking.
Okay.
That's how good Jay Lethal's impression is of Flair. You don't know who's who if you close your eyes.
You know what another good moment I remember is I don't know if you remember this. Bobby Roode shooting on Hulk Hogan. You remember that when Bobby Roode shot on Hulk Hogan?
I don't know if I do, actually. You have to show me that.
He was pissed about the way Hulk Hogan was running this company, and the one thing he mentioned was that he fired Jay Lethal, someone who came to work every day, didn't complain about it.
That was when he was a part of the Immortal faction, right?
No, Roode was part of Fortune. Fortune had just broken up, and that's actually another moment I like too, when Fortune left Immortal. Even though you could say it didn't make sense, I thought it was kind of cool. Because AJ Styles promo that he cut when he talked about how he destroyed WCW, I thought was pretty good. What else do I remember?
You got to show me both those promos. I don't remember either of them.
What else do I remember? From TNA, I'm trying to think. Mickie James turning heel, even though they should have pulled the trigger a lot. Like when she turned heel and beat Velvet Sky for the title, I thought that was kind of cool. But I mean, like they should have done that a while ago. But I thought it was kind of cool. That tag, even though we just talked about TNA Slammiversary 2013, that tag team match between Gunner and Storm, Bad Influence, Austin Aries, and Bobby Roode. By the way, my computer's at 14%, so we have to wrap it up. And Hernandez and Charlie Guerrero. That was a good match. I like that.
That was a very good match. I agree with that. One more thing before we wrap it up. My favorite TNA moment, I'd have to say of all time, or match of all time, I have to go with Lockdown. One of the Lockdown pay-per-views. Team Sting versus Team Christian Cage, I think.
Oh, definitely.
It was awesome. Because I remember... I mean, I could be wrong on the match, but I remember one of the best spots was it was Scott Steiner. He did the Frankensteiner for the first time in years.
Oh wow!
and freaking Jeff Jarrett smashed Abyss with a guitar full of thumbtacks, and he was on Sting's team, by the way. This was when nobody knew where Jarrett aligned himself.
Yeah.
And he aligned himself with Sting. He turned over a new leaf. It was a very great moment. It was a great TNA moment.
You gotta send me these. You gotta send me these matches and stuff like that.
Yeah, I will. I definitely will. I'll send you one of their DVDs they have up. They have entire DVD things on YouTube.
Oh wow.
That's ridiculous.
You have to pay. You don't have to pay for it, do you?
No, you don't. I've seen free shit that they have on their YouTube.
Okay, yeah. I definitely will check it out.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, we ended it on a positive note, man. I mean, if people
by the way, guys,
hated TNA from day one, we really didn't.
But by the way, guys, we don't just trash TNA. Remember, imagine how I just want to mention those TNA fans that just claim I trash TNA because it's TNA. So, yeah.
We're talking about TNA, not Impact Wrestling.
Yep. Oh, imagine how butthurt those fans are gonna be when TNA is done.
I mean, I hope it's not done. I actually do hope it's not done.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm also hoping that GFW buys them out if they are done. So there you go. All right. Well, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Plug your shit.
All right, guys, check out my YouTube channel, J Hubert Side 95 for Titantrons. Check out Weymouth Youth Wrestling up above. Check out the Master Wrestling Corner that I'm a part of with Owen down below. And you can subscribe to Owen's channel right there in the corner.
Okay. No, it's actually right here, but.
Oh, whatever. I don't know.
They might change. They might change it though. They always like to change stuff on you. So.
All right. Well, see you guys.
Yeah. See you later.
Pretty much it.
Oh, by the way, one thing we got to do not a podcast. We got to do another hangout. For the Stone Cold Steve Austin Paul Heyman podcast. We got to do a hangout for that. I don't know if you know that.
I'll see what I can do for that, all right?
All right, but yeah, that's pretty much it, guys.
I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
See you guys.
Bye.